Before use, ensure that the area around the bandsaw is clear of any obstacles or hazards. Be aware of the location of the emergency stops. Check the bandsaw is isolated from the power supply and that the machine isolator is in the off position. Observe the safety signs associated to the bandsaw. Ensure that you understand them and adhere to their instruction. Check the fence for any damage and that it moves freely over the table. Access doors that house the pulleyn wheels and blades should be locked. Inspect the telescopic blade guard for any damage and ensure that it moves freely and can be locked in position. Inspect the perspex blade guard for damage. This guard should remain transparent to allow the operator to see the blade. The blade is surrounded by 3 blade guides. They should be close to but not touching the blade. It is important that while there is some movement of the blade, the tension must be adjusted appropriately to suit the size of the blade. The tension can be checked by the tension gauge. The blade guides and the blade tension should only be adjusted by technicians trained in safe use and maintenance of the bandsaw. Finally, check the saw table and the table block insert for any damage. The bandsaw is fitted with a brake motor which will bring the bandsaw blade to a complete stop in less than 10 seconds. The extraction system is interlocked with the bandsaw. That is, when the bandsaw is energised, the extraction system will automatically start. Should this fail to happen, stop the bandsaw and isolate with a padlock and report the fault to the principal technician immediately. Powering up the bandsaw. Switch the machine isolator to the on position. Remove the padlock from the power panel at the rear of the machine and press the black on button. This will energise the bandsaw. Insert the key into the key switch and move the switch to the on position. The machine now has power as indicated by the indicator light on the control panel. Press the green start button, the machine will start, the blade will turn. Press the red stop button, the bandsaw should come to a complete stop within 10 seconds. Reset the red stop button, turn and unlock. Press the green start button, depress the mushroom headed foot stop and the bandsaw should come to a complete stop within 10 seconds. Reset the foot stop by pulling out the mushroom head until you hear a click. Should any of the stopping systems fail, isolate the bandsaw and lock off securely. Report the fault to the principal technician. Ensure that the bandsaw is isolated before making any adjustments for cutting. Set the height of the telescopic guard and lock. It should be set so that you can clearly see the line of the cut. This is to avoid any unnecessary stooping by the operator, but recommended that it be no more than 23mm above the workpiece. Hands should be safely positioned and fingers kept clear of the cutting line. Note the position of the operator's hands. Push sticks are used to safely feed material through the blade, keeping the operator's hands at a safe distance from the blade. When required, 2 push sticks can be used. Adjust the height of the telescopic guard and lock to a distance of 3 to 5 mm above the workpiece. When cutting using the fence, set the distance from the fence to the blade and lock the fence in position. Make a test cut and check measurement before continuing. Push stick must be used to feed the material through the blade when using the fence guide. False fences are adapted and fitted to the fence guide to allow the operator to cut narrow lengths of material. Note how the false fence prevents the blade guides from fouling on the fence guard. Technicians Resource Service are currently designing a suitable false fence for the use with the Centauro Bandsaw. This will be the only false fence permitted to be used with this machine. Cutting curves, irregular shapes and circles is carried out freehand, with the blade guard set so that you can clearly see the line of cut. Again recommended that be no more than 23 mm above the workpiece. It is therefore important that hands are safely positioned and fingers are always kept at a safe distance from the blade. Push sticks should be used as required. When used to cut circles, the radius of the circle is limited by the width of the blade. Guidance on this is included in the user's manual. Power down the bandsaw. Turn the key switch to the off position and remove. Lift the flap, which will switch off the machine and replace the padlock. Switch off the bandsaw isolator and padlock if required. Return the fence guide to the left-hand side of the machine and lock in place. When removing sawdust from the bandsaw, do not brush, always use a HEPA filter vacuum cleaner. Lower the telescopic blade guard to its lowest position on the table and lock in place so as to leave the blade fully guarded. The bandsaw is now in a safe condition.